Depending on your organization, social media may play a substantial role in your omnichannel user experience. And if that's the case, it may be worth it to evaluate how usable your content is. In this video, I'll share 3 tips from my social media research, and these tips are aimed at helping you and your team create usable social media posts. My first tip is to understand your audience and send meaningful messages that match user expectations. Like websites and other digital products, we need to understand who we're designing for. Social media is no different. My research found that users had varying expectations regarding the type of messages they wanted to see from brands on social platforms. These expectations were highly dependent on the type of company or organization posting the information. For example, let's consider news outlets. Users expected news outlets like the New York Times and NPR to post the top headlines and stories from around the world. On the other hand, they expected organizations like nonprofits to post information about their initiatives, upcoming events, and requests for donations or volunteers. When brands didn't post the types of messages users expected, they often became frustrated and commented on the lack of utility in the content provided. In your product context, identify what users care about and the questions they have surrounding your experience. Use that information to craft a meaningful social strategy. My next tip is around legibility. You must ensure users can read the text in your graphics. This is accomplished by applying a relatively large font size and high contrast color combination. Users tend to scroll through their social feeds pretty quickly, and they may gaze on your post for a second or two before they make the quick judgment to move on to the next post. If your content is illegible, it's less likely that fast-scrolling users will stop to engage with it. And even if they do, despite that poor legibility, you're forcing them to put in additional effort just to consume your content. So let me ask you, which of the following posts is easier to use? I'll go ahead and assume you picked the post from dictionary.com. This is a great example of text legibility in a graphic on Instagram. In comparison, that WebMD post was hard to read and incredibly cluttered. During a usability session, one participant struggled to zoom into the post multiple times to try to read the text in the graphic, which was far too small. If this participant encountered that post on their own, outside of the study, I'm doubtful she would have taken the time to read and interact with that post. The point is, don't make users work hard to consume your content. Rather than cramming too much text into a single image, like that WebMD post, consider chunking content into a series of multiple graphics in a single post or thread. Less text in each graphic would allow for more screen space and larger text. Though sometimes better legibility means less content, but really, that's just a question of higher quality content versus more content. Prioritize legibility over more content, even if that means you need to break up the content over a series of images or posts. My last tip is related to captions. For platforms with captions like Instagram and TikTok, supplement posts with captions containing relevant, helpful, or interesting information. Captions are a great way to provide a written summary of a post, tell a story, provide more details, ask questions, or even encourage viewers to take action. Don't underestimate this opportunity to provide accessible content that is a component of basic post design. In our research, one participant came across a post without a caption, and she rated the post poorly, and she said, "Without a caption, you simply just scroll past the post without even noticing it." Including a caption in your post, so long as they're relevant, can increase the likelihood that users will engage with your content. Without captions, users may feel like your post is incomplete or less informative. And when crafting those captions, consider the content and what questions viewers might have about it. Aim to answer those questions or point users to where they can find relevant information. Now, depending on your role and areas of interest, writing for social media may not be one of your core responsibilities. Even so, as UX practitioners, we're focused on the user experience. The reality is, social media often plays a role in our omnichannel user experience, so we should identify ways to make it more usable. Whether you're leading the creation of social posts or collaborating with others that do, consider how you can create a better experience for users interacting with your company on social media. If you want to learn more about creating usable social content, check out my report, Social Media UX User-Centered Social Strategies. available for purchase on the NNG website.